So good morning, everybody. We are currently at Congregation Beth Yeshurun for our weekly Thursday morning Chumash class, learning Rabbi Wolbe on Chumash. But before we begin, I just want to invite our Facebook friends to join us for a short little thought on this coming week's Parsha, Parshas NOACH, and then we'll continue with our regular learning. Everyone is welcome to join us at our weekly classes. You can visit torchweb.org and find out about all of our incredible programs available all around the city and at the Torch Center. Let's begin with a quick thought about Noach. So we know that Noach had been given a message from God saying that in 1 year I'm going to bring a flood upon the people. Why? Because the people were evil, and God said, I want to get rid of them and start all over again. So God instructs him to build a teva. It took him a long time, actually. It didn't take him 1 year. It took him much longer. It took him, they say, 120 years. 120 years for him to build the teva, and then he also needed to be a little coerced to get in. But it's very interesting that when you read the verses, it's very interesting that there's sort of like this distinction of Noach, who's in the teva, and the rest of the people who are in the flood. And it's sort of like, why, like, there weren't even windows. There were barely windows. Obviously, we see later on that there was windows because he sent out the birds. But why is there this separation, sort of like, nobody else can be in there except for him and his family? So there's an idea that we need to understand that we all have influences around us. Some are positive and some are negative. And one of the things that this lesson of the Teva is teaching us, of the Ark is teaching us, is that we have to calculate our influences. Positive influences, we allow them in. But negative influences, we have to keep them out. And we have to be very, very careful about not allowing negative influences into our Ark, into our life, into our world. And that's one of the things that's being demonstrated here, is God is saying, you and your family who are righteous, be in the ark. Everybody else has got to stay out. Because that's a negative influence. And we're living in a world today, which we can understand is more than ever before, where we have influences pulling us in all directions. Right? You watch television for 10 minutes, and you have 30 different ideas of things that you should do, things you should buy, vacations you should go on, and cruises, and Disney, and this and that. It's like you're bombarded with messages pulling you to all different directions. And not necessarily that they're not good, but a person has to be careful. Remember that you're the gatekeeper of your environment. You are responsible with the influences you allow to connect, to bring into your life. So if a person is careful to make sure that in my ark, in my teva, in my little abode, my home, I'm going to keep it pure, I'm going to keep it holy, I'm going to keep it happy, that's great. But if we start just bringing in things from other people because, in some advertisement they look like they're happy, and if I want to be happy too, right? So they have a smiling person in the picture, it must be that this person is happy. Right? And we get caught up with the sales pitches that's being sold to us by the media, or by politicians, by the way. Right? Don't forget to go vote Tuesday. Right? Early voting ends tomorrow, but make sure to go vote. It's important. So we have to make sure that we don't allow outside influences that are negative to come into our ark, and keep that separation, keep that barrier. Right? Have a small window you can look out, right? But a small one. It's not a big window where you have the entire influence of the outside coming in. And that's our responsibility. It's very important. I think it's an important lesson to learn from Noach, and something which is very practical to us on an everyday basis, on a daily basis, to remember that we are the gatekeepers of our environment. And the influences that we allow into our lives are the influences that we're going to have to live with because we let them in. So we have to be careful and selective in the influences we allow in. Thank you to our Facebook viewers And thank you to all of our friends here at Beth Yeshurun, the Shalhevet program. It's been going on now for 2 years. And you're all welcome to join us here live every day, every week, on Thursday at 9:30 at the Beth Yeshurun boardroom. Join us. We look forward to seeing you in the future. Have a terrific day, everyone.